Hello guys, and welcome to the video and to the channel. And today is a follow-up video to the 10 most bought players on Football Manager 20. And it's not the most inventive, but it's another of the 10 most bought, most popular players on this year's version of the game. So let's get right into it. First man up is the Dutch midfielder Ryan Gravenberch from Ajax. You can get him fairly cheap at the start of the game. I mean, if you're a big side that you'll want to come to, maybe worth waiting until the end of the first season to bring him in. He does have really high potential. You can see there he's a really well-rounded player right from the start, and he can grow. He's got good determination, good first touch, good technique, and let's see how he grows. Okay, so in this future projection of Gravenberch, you'll see it's only December 2023. So not a million years into the future, but you'll already see he's obviously at Liverpool on this one. He got his big money move from Ajax. And I mean, it's not human controlled. This is all AI controlled as well. And you'll see there how good and well-rounded a midfield player he is. Technical, passing, first touch, really good playmaker. And yeah, it's not hard to see why he's such a popular player in this year's game. Second player up, and starting the game at just 16 years old, it's the Belgian from Anderlecht, Marco Canha, or Canha. Not sure what the correct pronunciation is, but I mean, he's again well-rounded player. He can play either at centre back or defensive midfield. I mean, he's probably best in the DM role. He doesn't really have the jumping, I'd say, for centre back, but he could potentially be a top class centre back as well. But I'd say defensive midfield is really where he's going to shine for you. Here he is again. I've gone only to December 2023 for this one, so he's still just 21 years of age, and I mean, it's clear how good he can become. He's still got some growth to go in this one. Scouts love him in this save, and you'll see there again, all AI controlled, but he has progressed into quite the deep line playmaker, defensive midfield role. So yeah, he's really one to look out for on this year's game, which is what's made him so popular. Third man up, it's another 16-year-old, and this one is a player you will no doubt have heard of if you've been following the football and La Liga this year. Barcelona. This young player, just 16 years old, and you can see there he's got massive potential. Already at the start of the game, he's got dribbling 16, he's quick, he's got a good determination and really good flair. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious that he's going to develop into a world-class player, but let's have a quick look at just how he looks. Ansu Fati then, here in 2028 I've gone to, so 25 years old. He's still not quite in his prime, probably at this point, which is scary when you look at how good his stats are. Again, all AI controlled. So if you buy some of these players yourself and you develop them in your own way, you can potentially get the stats looking even better than you're seeing on the screen right now. But Ansu Fati, definitely one to watch. Now you see an Adam Hlosseck, the young 16-year-old Czech Republic player, really quick, and you can get him, I think, right at the start of the game. You can pick him up if you do so before. I think Man City tend to sign him on at the start of a lot of saves. You can get him for, I think it's something like £56,000, basically nothing. And you can get him on a pre-contract, approach him to sign him for such a low fee, and he'll grow and grow and grow, as we're about to see. Okay, so he's just 21 years of age here, Hlosseck. And I mean, he's one that I've used in one of my saves, so I know how good he can be. Here you see him, and he looks pretty well rounded in the stats, super quick, and he's got a big money move to Arsenal, valued at 66 million as it stands. So yeah, he's certainly doing okay for himself. And yet another 16-year-old, and I've no idea how to pronounce the name, Eli Moriba, I'd go for. Not sure if that's correct or not, but you can again see what a well-rounded young player he is at Barcelona. I mean, in some saves he goes on to make the Barcelona team and is valued stupidly high. In other saves he struggles to break into the squad, and sometimes his contract runs out and runs down and you can bring him in on a free. So he's definitely one to keep an eye on in your save, and I'll show you why. You'll see in this particular save we're in 2028 again, and the stats are looking really well rounded, but I mean, he hasn't actually had the best development. Barcelona, I mean, he played for Barcelona B, and yeah, as I say, in this particular save they released him on a free at the end of his contract, and Norwich eventually signed him from Manchester United, but he didn't, he wasn't a first team regular at United in this game, so his development was somewhat hampered and stifled by that. But having said that, still a really good player. You bring him in and develop him yourself, and his stats can look even better than they do right there. Now, I'd say one of the lesser known names on this list, Mathias Arizo. I mean, I've not heard really anything about him, to tell the truth, in real life, but in the game it's a completely different story. You can get him really cheap. I mean, there are obvious work permit issues if you're playing in England, but I mean, if you look at him there, he's already got the makings of a top class striker, and let's have a look at how he might develop. Okay, so in this particular save he went to China. Let's just have a look at how he progressed. Okay, so we did have a year in the Championship with Fulham before moving out to the CSL, and I mean, yeah, he's a well-rounded striker. He can certainly develop better. In fact, let's just have a quick look, see if I can bring up some stats from another save. Yes, you'll see him here. He's much younger here, only 21, but probably better developed in this save than in the last one. And I think I signed him to Bournemouth, my Bournemouth side, about 3 seasons in maybe. So yeah, he's definitely one to watch. Next up is another man who starts the game at Barcelona. So between him and Fati, you've got the makings of a top class attacking midfielder, wingers for years to come. He starts on loan at Las Palmas from Barcelona, and you see there he's already got the dribbling, the first touch, the technical ability, the flair. So you can imagine how he might develop. Here he is now in 2028. He's at Atletico. So Barcelona let him go in this one, but you see there how good he is and how good he could be in a well-developed save under your control. Moving on now to one of the most signed defenders, young defenders in this year's version of the game. It's Josco Vardyal. Starts the game at Dinamo, and they've got a really good youth setup at the club there, so there's a few players worth checking out from them, but he's probably the pick of the bunch, arguably. But yeah, from a defensive point of view, really strong, and let's see how he might progress. Here he is at the age of 26, contracted to Liverpool, and yeah, really strong defender, really quick as well. He can play left back or centre back. He's a natural in both positions. I mean, I've used him primarily at left back in one of my saves, and he's developed into a a top class left back in that. But yeah, I mean, centre back is probably potentially where he's best, although he doesn't have the long throw, which is useful from a full back. So yeah, he can play left back, centre back, take your pick. Now back to another 16-year-old, but this one is English, so he's a favourite of anyone playing in the Premier League, as you can approach to sign him at the beginning of the game from Leeds, and he'll come to, I think, to pretty much any Premier League side, I think. Left-footed, defensive midfielder, could potentially play centre-back. I mean, you could retrain him. He could probably play anywhere in sort of centre-back. You could probably retrain him as like a right or left-back even. He's left-footed. But yeah, he's primarily a defensive midfielder. Let's see how he might progress. Here's Nohan Kenny then. In 2028, he's at Tottenham, valued at 58 million. Really good physical attributes there. And I mean, it looks like he has been used at right back on a makeshift in this particular save. Again, this is all AI control. It's got some good traits there. And yeah, you buy him yourself, pick him up at the start of the game, start of any save, and develop him, and he can be much better than you're seeing on there, which, you know, already looks pretty impressive, to be fair. And last but certainly not least in this list of 10 is Yari Vasharan, the Belgian, another youngster at Anderlecht. So they've already seen Kanya earlier in the video, now Vasharan. And they've also got Jeremy Doku, who's another one that was a contender for a list like this. But Vasharan edges him out, 18 years old, well-rounded player, can play pretty much anyway, really versatile across the attacking, centrally or out wide. Let's see how he might progress. Take a look at him here at 27 years of age at Real Madrid, valued at 73 million. And wow, what a well-rounded player he is. Certainly worth picking him up. I mean, I think I managed to sign him at the end of the first season, start of the second season, for around 12.5 million, something like that. And yeah, you can see he's well worth it in this particular save here, all AI controlled. He has gone on to be an elite attacking midfielder, and generally he will in the majority of saves. What a player. That brings me then to the end of this video, but let's do a few honourable mentions before I end. First one is for Hannibal Mabry, who starts the game at Manchester United. Next up is Yari from Lyon, the French striker. And then we have Nachi Univar, who starts the game at Ajax. Probably a bit slow to be a winger, but certainly a really promising attacking midfielder. That brings me then to the end of this video. But if you like, please like and subscribe to the channel. And you can find me on Twitter there as well. Haven't used it much, but will do. I am working on a tactics video at the moment, which I'm aiming to bring out shortly. And you'll see that I'm trying to do something a bit different to the other tactics videos that are already out there on YouTube. Maybe sort of look at how to build from scratch and what the specific instructions might mean and how it might impact on the tactic itself. So that's something that's in the pipeline, and hopefully get that out soon. But yeah, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.